You have to be decisive on the river. That's something my grandpa would say. In fact, if it wasn't so long ago when he taught me how to navigate the river, I'd wager he had said it. You see, canoeing takes a large amount of teamwork. The front man has to communicate what he or she sees to the person in the back of the canoe. The person in the back controls the steering. Watch out for the V's in the water. There are rocks under those ripples. I vaguely remember the feeling of irritation bubbling up during my first experience learning to canoe. My grandpa was just trying to explain the importance and utility of various canoeing techniques, but all my adolescent brain heard was, "Do it this way. Pay attention. Don't do that." Of course, now I see the raised tone of his voice was due to his lack of excitement about tipping the canoe over. Canoeing on the North Fork River is one of my favorite family memories. I've taken at least 4 trips to that river, and I loved it every time. The first couple of times we traveled to Missouri's North Fork, my family of 5, my grandparents on my mother's side, and her brother's family as well. I was regaled with tales about my mother's family trips to the river when she was young. The most memorable story seeming to be the time when my mother was hit in the head by her dad's paddle in some sort of canoeing calamity. In retrospect, I think those stories, while distant from myself, make that river mean more to me than it would otherwise. There is something about passing down stories, memories, experiences, that gives meaning to potentially trivial things. And now I have my own memories of that river to share, not least of which are my encounters with the Blue Spring. The North Fork River is spring-fed and quite cold, but the river's coldness pales in comparison with jumping into the spring itself. I'd guess it is about a constant 50 degrees. On one particular river trip, my cousin was fond of exclaiming, "Make a memory," in order to coerce someone into a photographable situation. Little did she know this would bite her in the ass when she was standing on the rock ledge above the cold spring, nervously trying to back out of the jump. "Make a memory, Kirsten," echoed the voices of various family members, compelling her to leap. My uncle, on the other hand, has to be the most competitive person I know. Refusing to be outdone by any of the other jumpers, he proceeded to climb to the highest ledge, pee down his leg, luckily for us trousers still on, and jump into the spring. I can't make that up. I can only be thankful that I had already made my jump. After scrambling up the rocks, I remember thinking, I can't back down now, only one thing to do. Count to 3 and jump. As I splashed into the water, immediately my breath caught inside my lungs, and I frantically tried to find a way out of the freezing pool. When it was all over, I had a strange sense of satisfaction, and absolutely no desire to jump a second time. In subsequent trips, I made it a point to jump into that spring at least once, and I never regret it. As I fondly look back on all the river has had to offer me, I pose a thought. My experiences on the river have taught me the importance of being decisive, making memories, and sharing them with others. Life has more meaning that way.